Hello everyone, and welcome to another book review in Alex's reading room. Today we are going to review what I regard as a good book, but not a great book. And that is A Lot Like Me, A Father and Son's Journey to Reconciliation by Larry Elder. Now, I first heard about this book as Larry Elder described it, okay? And the premise is very intriguing. This is a memoir, okay? This is actually a nonfiction. I just finished reviewing Susie Wong, which is complete fiction, so this is very different. But A Lot Like Me is... Let me just go into the age rating, okay? First of all, the version I have is 272 pages. I have rated it a 15 on the age rating. I put the sexuality at 1 with a question mark because I don't think there's anything... Well, I know for a fact there's nothing explicit in there. I don't think there's really a lot, if there's anything. I think it's like either a 0 or a 1. But I rated it a 1. Just to be safe. For the language, 3 out of 3. There's definitely some F-bombs in there. Definitely keep an eye out for those. For substance, I put at a 1, and I don't remember why. When I was rating this, it had already been some time, and I couldn't remember fully. I put at a 1 with a question mark, and same thing with Death and Injury. I put at a 1. Now, I know for sure it's at least going to be a 1. I don't think it's higher than that. But regardless, I have put the age rating of this book at a 15. And for the critique, I have rated this book an 8 out of 10. Certainly a very interesting read. That's really all there is for the spoiler-free section. I have to talk about some spoilers, so I'm going to switch to the spoiler section. So, this book is about how a guy, Larry Elder, has not talked to his dad in a very long time. And he goes to meet up with his dad just to talk. And actually, it's not really just a talk. I think, if I remember right, he's there to, give him a piece of his mind and, just call him out on everything and just, do that. And they end up reconciling. They end up talking for many hours after his cafe is closed, because his father owns a cafe or a restaurant. And they end up reconciling. They end up talking about a lot of stories and how they remember different events in different ways. And I guess the reason why I didn't rate it a 9 or a 10 is just it didn't quite pan out how I thought it was going to turn out, because what I thought is I felt that we don't get to see enough of the reconciliation part. I feel like it was more so, let's talk about all these all these stories of, childhood events for Larry Elder. And then at the end, it's like, okay, now he realizes, there's a little bit of reconciliation in there where his father is saying, you're a lot like me. But I feel like we don't get to see enough of that reconciliation. I feel as though Larry Elder would have done better to... The thing is, I can't really say he would have done better to do something if it didn't happen. This is a memoir. So if this is really how they reconciled, I don't know what you do. But I feel like to me at least, other readers may feel differently, but it felt like we were talking about a lot of stories, interesting stories, don't get me wrong, I definitely rated an 8, so it's good. But we talk a lot about stories that happened when Larry was a child and when Larry was growing up and everything like that. And then at the end, it's like, okay, well, we're reconciled now. It's like, wait, hold on a second, what the heck? So, Yeah, they're definitely. That's basically the main issue that I have with it. But it is a good book. I mean, Larry goes there looking to speak, and he does a lot of speaking, but he also ends up doing a lot of listening. And so he's able to communicate that with his father, and his father realizes his perspective, and he realizes his father's perspective. And I think they realize that they are similar in many ways, and that he is similar to what his father was when his father was younger. And ultimately, I think this is a very relatable story. I think that many readers will relate to how we can actually. Many of us go through this phase where we just have this animosity toward our parents for some reason, or this rebelliousness and everything like that, not realizing that we are what they were, and not realizing that we are actually who they were. And it's like we become our parents as we grow older. It's kind of crazy, even in isolation sometimes. It's like you just have that personality. You have those genes, and you grow up with that personality, and it becomes who you are. And so I would recommend it. I'm going to hold the book up again. I would recommend it. There is actually a hardcover version. It's called Dear Father, Dear Son. And that's also available on audiobook. A Lot Like Me is just the paperback version, and it's not audiobook, but it is the same book, okay? It's the same content. So that's really all there is to say, I think. So I will conclude this review, but if in the comments, let me know if you know Larry Elder, what you know about him. And if you've read this book, please let me know what you think of this book, and if you agree with my 8 out of 10 rating, or my age rating of 15 out of 18. So that's going to conclude this review. If you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more book reviews. I'm going to review many others, so stay tuned. With that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next book review.